You are watching or listening to Purham and Associates. For more information, go to rpurham.com or follow me on all social media platforms and subscribe at RPURHAM. Thanks. See you over there. Hey, good day to you all. Welcome to Permanent Associates. I'm your host, Randy Purham. Hey, I hope you all are having a fantastic week thus far, and you're staying out of trouble and not interdicted with ICE operations and throwing Teletubby parties in the middle of the street, or if you're in school or you got kids in school, that you're not doing any walkouts, because that is illegal. So, but anywho, hey, we're picking back up on the finances, series that we've had going for the last couple of weeks here, and so I got my spectacular panel with us today. Tiffani Jones and Andres Sanchez. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for taking the time to be here today. And I'm of the purview that we're getting into taxes today, and I think that's going to be an important topic today because we are in the tax season. April 15th is a filing deadline for those of you that obey the law and expect to get a refund back. So we're going to get into it today. Andreas, how you doing today, sir? Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay, there you go.
All right, how are you, Randy?
Oh, good. Good.
All right.
Yep. Good to go.
Technology, right?
Yeah. Tiff, how's it going?
Good.
Awesome.
This weekend, very, very fun weekend I just had. So just came from Arizona. They have the People's Open, US Open. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I've
Awesome.
never seen like a tournament golf with like a cheer in a stadium. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Fun.
Oh, was that your first one?
The one in Arizona, yeah. I mean, usually, they're kind of quiet. People kind of like clap. This one was like you're in a stadium, and they boo you. I was like, wow, that was wild. That's fun. That's fun. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
wow.
very blessed with that. That's fun.
Awesome.
So what we got? How you doing,
So,
Tiffani?
Oh, my goodness. This is going to be great because everybody wants to know about taxes, I guess, since we're in that season. And, especially in the U.S., there are so many taxes. There's income tax, Social Security taxes, federal taxes, state taxes. You have to pay interest on saving accounts and real estate tax, excise. I mean, we've got a lot of taxes here.
sales
So
tax.
everything, right? Sales tax. So taxes are incurring in everything. And when we look at the whole perspective, people feel that they have given their earned income to the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel that they have no support from the government. And some feel that, to be honest, the only way to benefit is to be an entrepreneur. So in your opinion,
Oh, go ahead with your question.
Oh,
I got questions today, Andreas. I'm telling you right now, you gonna be like, man, this mother.
right?
I got
Oh my
I got
God.
questions.
Okay,
So get
so
ready.
if you look at the current tax system, it appears that taxes favor corporations. And if this is so, this would be placing a heavier burden on the average citizen. In your opinion, is that true?
No,
Lowering the corporate tax.
no. In my opinion, it's not.
What is your opinion?
He
Really
like, no.
doesn't. Like, for example, when you level and you give, you know, the one percenters, right? They got there by making wise decisions, right? Not as, excuse my French, not stupid decisions. And if we give them leverage from the investment point of view to reinvest more money, they will. So let's give a clear example in what's happening like in England. I don't know, we talked about that last week, but right now it's becoming to this point that around 1%. Oh, you there? Oh, I lost you.
No, you're here. We got you.
Oh, okay. Like the 1% of the population, the one percenters, right, on income, pay around 60% of the bill on the income tax in England. So I don't have the name on top of my head. I know his name is Rolly. He is an owner of a big institution in UK. Okay, and what's happening like in UK, not only economically but socially, right? They putting this hate on the wealthy, right? It's like bad to be rich, per se, right? Let's punish. So he decided to move uh, the Arab countries, what is it? Dubai, one of those, and he took out his business there. He got out, so he's not filing taxes anymore. So his tax bill was $5 billion. So the government lost $5 billion because they pushing away the wealthy. Now, into perspective, the average taxpayer, normal folks, right, pay around £7,200 a year on taxes. So they need over almost 472,000 taxpayers to replace that. That's half of a city. So from the economic point of view, does that make sense?
No.
Correct. And politicians, I don't want to get into politics, but anyway.
Well,
It's a political show.
They always tax the rich. Like they tax the rich, they tax the ones that provide, right? Because they won't live. No, they leave. They move. People have choices.
Yeah.
And there are people.
Exactly.
No?
Yep.
And they're employers. And if we take care of the ones who produce, right? They reinvest on that. It's an economic principle. That's the one who sustains. It helps to sustain everything else.
I got a question for you, Andreas.
Yes, sir.
Can a person that's paying income taxes in the United States, can they opt out of paying taxes? Can they just say, you know what, screw you IRS, screw you federal government, I'm getting a paycheck, I ain't giving you a damn cent, kiss my ass? Is it legal for a person to do that? I'm getting mixed messages about this, so I want to hear it from the guru's mouth himself that the correct answer to
If
that.
you live in the United States and you don't want to pay income tax, you're saying?
Yes. Is there a legal way to say I am not paying taxes anymore?
There is a legal way, but it's not that you are a citizen, per se. Right? So, for example, if I'm a foreign institution filing taxes in my native country, right? There is a treaty on that. There is some look per se. Because there are also some advantages as well. There is a concept called nomad capitalism. So pretty much it's like, if you don't have a land, where you pay taxes at, right? So it's that ability of having doing business in places where you're not a citizen per se.
Mm,
But
I
when you
see.
establish certain corporations, yeah, the corporation might pay some taxes inland, but your personal income tax might be at your hometown per se. And there are treaties between countries for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Or
familiar.
just go do some transactions in the middle of the Caribbean. I didn't say anything. But
I know, right?
it's
Yeah.
not tax.
Carnival Cruise Line. I'm going to go ahead and book a cruise
I
real
know,
quick.
right?
So I
What?
can
It's
Royal
open water.
Caribbean. Yeah, I need to go get on this boat real quick. And so I don't have to pay his
But now
taxes.
they trace everything, like even pensions. Like uh,
Yeah.
things are so connected these days.
Mhm.
Pensions get traced, and like
Mm-hmm.
some people used not to pay taxes in pensions
Yeah.
here or from overseas. Now they are. It's just different.
Well, the idea is that with the 16th Amendment, and ladies and gentlemen, for those that are not constitutionally astute, the 16th Amendment is the amendment to which Congress can lay and collect taxes. And the term lay means that they can come up with a system and say, hey, we want to collect on your income taxes, right? And so I'm a proponent of abolishing the 16th Amendment. And, that's just me. And here's why: if we abolish the income tax system and we say, hey, taxes should be optional. If you feel so benevolent to your government that you say, you know what, hey, here's 10, 20% of my earnings, put it into the treasury and have a nice life. It used to be that way prior to the 16th Amendment. Taxes was optional. It was like, okay, you make money, okay, yeah, great, and welcome to liberty, welcome to, the United States and all that. So
Mhm.
the idea that we have a tax system now feeds into the idea of why there is so much corruption in the United States in terms of nonprofits, foreign business deals, and all this kind of stuff. So if we minimized the the income pool, then the government would have no choice but to be a little bit more frugal with their money. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Uh, it's funny that you said that. The IRS. I mean, that was started in 1913,
Yeah.
right? So before 1913, there was no taxes. It was tariffs, pretty much. There
Mm-hmm.
were
Yep.
probably around 1.5% of the GDP from like the early 1800s up to 1913. So yeah, it works. In I'm not saying that the tariff by itself works, right? It just helps at certain moments and at certain times, like things that we're seeing. From the point of view paying taxes, yes, I mean, like, thing has changed over time. Like money was backed up by gold, right? In the 70s, pretty much they just back it up by paper, right? The
Mm-hmm.
government just had the ability to what? Produce more money, right? They just print it. So if the government had the ability to have unlimited production of money, why they collected income taxes?
Yeah.
I'm
I
just gonna leave that
agree.
question up, right?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I,
Yeah,
I
it's
yeah, it's one of
it,
those.
it makes
Yeah, I say get rid of it and let people let people do the option because it feeds into the mantra that's out there, the tax the rich, make them pay their fair share, and it's like, well, that's an arbitrary uh, figure. What is a fair share?
yeah,
If a millionaire is
correct.
paying $100,000 in taxes, then to me that's fair. It's like I'm like you shouldn't be paying anything.
Mhm.
That's your money. You earned it. So that's that side of the house. You got the other side say, well, get charged with 50%. So you want them to pay $500,000, of their income because they're rich. Like make it make sense. So
Correct.
a progressive tax system, a flat tax. In your opinion, Andres, what is the best kind of tax system that would probably favor everybody?
The best tax system.
Yeah, I
I
know he's
think
like,
the NASA. $1 million question, because it has so many intervals.
Yeah.
I think that the one that is managed efficiently, and that's what we're lacking of, is the pool of efficiency on taxes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because when the money is managed properly, right, uh, eventually people will pay less. That's just numbers. It's a lot of waste and abuse.
I agree, 100%.
So that's what's going on. And I know that now the people are realizing it, right? It's communication is expanding, knowledge, access to certain things, uh, making it efficient. I believe that there are a lot of good programs that are needed, right? That they help because there's some less fortunate. And you know what? The founder fathers, that's why they created separate powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because also everything combined into one, it's just over time it's dangerous. Um, that being said, having the ability to minimize expenses, right? Invest in what is important. Military is important. You know? At the end of the day, we live in a very delicate world, and the military is funded through taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. We need to protect. We need to have authority. If we just evaporate the authority, just chaos comes in. So we cannot
Yeah.
go completely right, completely left. We just find that midpoint. Um, but this country generates enough, right? And we have enough abundance that if it's managed properly, oh, absolutely, I think that the cost will be less. We just need to get rid of. I mean, we're just gonna start paying out some of that debt and going in the right direction. But again, it goes back to that principle that we start just printing paper, right? And the
Yeah.
government bank account was creating more money out of thin air, unlimited supply for the future, and at the same time taxing, which opened the door for a lot of corruption, right?
Mhm.
NGOs, you name it. So so being in politics, serving the country, it used to be a matter of service. It was a matter of dignity. Now it's just money, and that's sad.
Yeah.
So we just need to correct that.
Absolutely. Tiff, you got anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't think anybody can hear me on this show because I can hear myself, but I can't hear you guys. That's why I'm still struggling with it. So,
Oh,
will they be able to hear me?
yes. We can hear
yes,
you.
we can.
No, you can hear me, but can they hear me? Because
Yes.
you know,
They can hear you. If we can hear you, they can.
I know, right? We're
right?
ghosts.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
ghosts,
like,
right? We only
well,
one
what,
Ray's
wait
mic
a
can
minute.
see
I
can
have
hear you.
some special skill over here because I'm lip syncing, trying to figure out what's going on, right? So I'm pretty good. I gotta say, because I guess because Randy, we've experienced so much that we
Yeah.
become a little bit more professional each day, right? So this is Andres, this is a political show, and so some of our questioning may lean towards that, and that's okay. But I will ask, one party is always in favor of lowering the corporate income tax as a better way to encourage businesses to expand. However, when we look at the market at the moment, we can see corporations making large sums of money, yet they are reducing the average workforce. Like Amazon, we talked about Amazon and decreasing the workforce in Amazon. So, what are you? How do you feel about corporations doing what they do in terms of letting go people and all that thing that is of um, letting them go. A lot of people say, oh, well, we're letting go, they're letting go a lot of people. That's affecting our our bottom dollar as human beings. But in terms of the corporation, what does that mean? Like, how is it? How does it affect the corporation and the individual? I guess I could say that.
So, for example, the principle of any corporation, right? In the country, it's a corporation. It's not lose money. That's the main principle, right? How many of you are in business to lose money, to go bankrupt? Nobody is, right? That is, I mean, right? So, over regulation, right, discourage enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about, a lot of layoffs. Well, what was the cost of layoff? It's not because they want to make more money laying off people. That's bad business, because they mean that they be producing something, they producing less. So what is that? What is the over-regulation that is causing these movements, right? If you look at from the different perspective, for example, tariffs, right? It's a way, it's a very dangerous way, but it's a tactic that is used efficiently, right? To bring back, right, plants, to bring back manufacturing, to bring back job creation. Why companies left? I mean, I'm just going to ask that question. Why they left? Why do you guys think the companies started leaving?
It was getting a better tax rate overseas or wherever they
Bingo,
went.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If I can get produced better, right, and cheaper and more efficiently,
and access.
and I can work faster, right? I can be more efficient at my work. I'm gonna move it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you keep poking me, right? You just keep poking me all the time, right? You just pushing me out the door slowly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want little kick. It's just like little pinches and pinches until I'm out the door. So that's what's happening. So right now we're just creating the economic incentive to bring those manufacturers and things like that back in, because what America is really good is an innovation and creation. That's our mantra. That's what people come to this country. Create, innovate, right? We create most millionaires than anyone in the world.
Yeah.
Because it's the opportunity, right? But the opportunity is creation, innovation. China is not creation, innovation.
That's true.
China got really good at manufacturing, at duplicating, right? They're the best in the world. But because we give them that opportunity, because we start putting so much regulation that we just force these companies out. The idea is just to bring them back in, create manufacturing, and eventually reopen free commerce per se, which we still have.
Absolutely. Now,
I don't know that ask you a question, but
definitely. So let's switch gears here real quick, because since we are talking about taxes, so we're delving down from the corporate taxes and federal taxes against the corporations, against us people. Let's get into some of the best practices of filing taxes. For example, my question is, if you are a married couple, what would be the best option to file your taxes? Both working, or they get some kind of form where they contribute to the government in some form, whether it's a retirement or their actual, they have a job type of thing. So what is the best way to file taxes if you're a couple? Let me generalize it that way.
what is the best way?
The best way, yes. Is it filing, well, for example, the options I guess we say would be married filing jointly, married filing separately, married head of household, those categories is what I mean.
Well, right now, married. Again, I'm not tax.
All right, yeah. We're not giving legal advice, ladies and gentlemen. We're just saying like what we think would be the best.
But married filing jointly is gonna have the most deductions, the most lean room to play with, the best benefits, the better thresholds per se.
Okay.
Than filing single. That just gets worse.
That's true.
So filing single. Let's get into that for a second. Filing single. you just don't have a choice. You gotta file single
Yeah.
because you're single. That's your status. What
Correct.
if what if you filed single, but your deductions is say four, three, four? Because I've seen this as a trick that saves you from either owing or not getting the return back at all. You have singles that will file with the exemptions of two, three, four type of thing. Is that a technique that will benefit them in this situation, or is this a technique that's hurting them?
Mm. I'm trying to understand the question. So, like, how they get more money? That's what you're asking me?
Yeah. So when you like doing your W-2, your W was it W-2? Yeah, W-2. You're filling out your W-9 form, your W-9, and they say how many exemptions do you
W2.
want? Yeah, oh yeah,
Hmm.
your W-2, and so you put like either zero. You could do up to nine, so it's 0 through 9.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. You're right. W9 for
Yeah,
the
you got to do
exemptions.
W-9. See, I ain't worked there 5 years, and you.
That's how.
But no, you good, you good. So yeah, the exemptions as a single person, does it benefit you to stay at zero, or should you put a number in order to benefit at the end
Oh,
when
it's
it's time for
simple.
you to
If
file?
you put, so it also depends on how you get in your income. If you're on W2 where you're being taxed up front, or
Yeah,
versus you're 1099 that you're not being taxed, right? So remember, at the end of the day, is you're getting your money back or some of it. That's just what it is, right? Yeah,
yeah.
that's how it works. So if you put zero, you're gonna get more back because, right, you have higher deductions through the year.
Mm, makes
That's
sense.
just how it works. Now, also, the standard deductions are more favorable right now, so it helps most of Middle America
Hmm.
for the um, tax changes that came in, right? So fewer people are gonna need to itemize. Now,
Yeah.
when thresholds move to like the 600, I think a lot of the benefits just melt down, go away after you cross the $600,000 frame on income. That's when those benefits kind of like melt down. But for majority population, I will say that the large itemized deduction, um, standard deduction, I'm sorry, the larger standard deduction is going to benefit them.
Mm, okay. Okay. Makes sense. I mean, I get it. Now, in terms of the going back to the married couples, you said married filing jointly would be best. They will benefit the most, right?
In
It's,
most
it,
cases,
most
it's like
most cases, right? Yeah, absolutely.
so
Most cases,
general, right? It's
yeah,
general.
ladies and gentlemen, it will also depend on how much money you're making. You could end up in a situation where your with your income, your investments, your property, and all this stuff. It may be beneficial that you file married but separate, just depending on that dynamic. So you really talk to your tax professional on this. We're just generalizing here on this show, just like
Correct.
yeah, we're just generalizing. We're not telling you, hey,
Yeah,
if you're married,
one
and
percent
both of y'all got jobs, go and file jointly. No, 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 we're not saying that. We're just
right?
we're just giving some different scenarios on what is the best
Correct.
options and best ways to go about it. Now, for a person that's married, say, oh, I got a great example here. You're gonna love this one. So, two
All
married
right.
two married people, right? Husband and wife. One owes the IRS. Other one occasionally owes the IRS,
Oh boy.
but they file separately. Would it benefit them to file jointly at any point, or do they just continue to file the way they file and just hope that the money gets paid back and they balance out somewhere? I know somebody
I'm
like
gonna
this. That's why I asked this very specific
put
question
my
because they
feet
asked
in the
me,
here.
and I was just like, "Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. For that, you need like a somebody got need to look at
Look at the
what's
situation.
on the
Yeah.
situation, and
Yeah.
I
I
cannot.
got you. Yeah, yeah. It is an
It's not fair. Let's
yeah,
put it that
yeah,
way.
it's not a fair question.
Not
I
fair.
agree. It's not a fair question. It's an intricate question. Yes, yes. So, but talk to us about like getting through, the tax season. What can I don't know if you got any updates like from your arena, like in terms of what we can expect in terms of everyday taxpayers with the big beautiful bill, like the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security and stuff like that. Tell us what we can expect this tax season.
So I saw that they expanded child tax credit, right? Increased per
Mm,
Hmm.
qualifying child. It's partially refundable, but it's a good thing, right? For work, especially for working families, special dual income households that you were asking, right? That's for the families, right? Because the the standard deduction, right, that almost doubled compared for 2018, right? The Tax Cuts Act. Um, so that's gonna put fewer people are gonna need to itemize. Just the standard deduction is gonna accumulate most of that,
yeah.
right? For the median incomes. Now let's talk about a little about the qualified business income, the QBI's deductions, which is at 20%. That's eligible for, like, for example, business owners, sole proprietorships, LLCs, S corporations, right? This pretty much is going to allow like 20% of business income to be excluded from the federal taxes.
Mm,
That's a that's a good thing for them, right? Because a lot of these companies are that they're not usually the huge corporations. Some are big, but a lot of the mom and pops fall into that, right?
yeah.
You helping middle entrepreneurs in the country. We also have a lower corporate tax rate. It's a flat 21%. Uh,
Hmm.
that is discretionary investment on bonuses and hiring. Because that's what people don't understand. When a corporation, when somebody has excess, right? When I can reserve more, it's not I'm just gonna take my money and party. I have money to reinvest more. I can reinvest in technology. I can hire another person.
Yeah.
I'm able to keep that. I can reinvest in my business because that's what companies do, right? In order to evolve, you have to invest back into the business.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is just incentivize that. Um, what else? Mm, yeah, you mentioned, like, for example, tips. We're in Vegas here. There's no taxes on tips. That's huge for the community, right? I saw that there is also they are giving, like, you can deduct the interest on when you purchase a car.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep.
So that's incentivizing the manufacturing, right? Car the car industry. So these little things that you're gonna be able to put in there.
Yeah.
Um, you're talking about Social Security, right? Taxations and stuff like that. But some things still in the works, but uh, seems to be good.
Awesome.
Now, talking about, like, filing, right? Check filing the strategy, like life changes matter. For example, marriage, new dependents, business income, retirement transitions. A lot of those things, each section or each of somebody's life moment are going to be impacted by the taxes.
Mm. Hmm. Okay.
For
Makes sense.
example, people who are retired, right, and they get a big package. There's something called IRMA, which when they go on Medicare, they get penalized, and they can pay up to like $800 a month on the Part B premium instead of 200
Mm.
because
Mm.
they live 2 years, and if they go above certain threshold, they get taxed on their healthcare big time,
Mm.
big time. So, like, it's a lot of strategy that needs to go around. Also for people who do investments, also making sure that they did tax harvesting per se, right? It's a good strategy as well to minimize taxes, contributions, right? Whether you are uh, let's say you have an LLC, you're a business owner, if you have a SEP IRA, I mean, you can put up, technically, you can put up to 25% of your income uh, away for retirement. Roth IRAs. So make sure that people maximize those vehicles because those are retirement vehicles with compounding growth potential. So that's huge. I don't know if I answered your question. But there you go.
No, you did. Yeah, you did. No. That was great elaboration on that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Tiff, you got anything?
Well, I'm always on the side of corporate America mostly, but I like to kind of give people, a better perspective on how money works. And in this case, with taxes and individuals, and giving them a pure understanding of, how the system really, really works. Because a lot of people are confused, and sometimes if you are a business owner and you're filing single, what are your deductions? You can take donations, but if you're self-employed, you have that credit or that tax that's given to you, and then you know what I'm saying. So it's like there's so many things that you have to consider when you do file taxes. Like you said, do you file what is the best? Being married and filing jointly, or how do you do this, and what is the best solution for people in this financial climate, I would say. So
Yeah.
I do have one more question, and if our government were to reduce spending, would we be able to drastically reduce the national debt and at the same time lowering the burden of taxes being paid by the average taxpayer?
If the government reduces spending,
Right. If we could reduce our spending, because a lot of people, the average person, there's a distrust and a belief of concerns of mismanagement and waste of taxpayers' dollars. So, how do I say this? Everyone talks about the national debt, and everyone is wondering how the national debt is considered when lowering taxes for the average taxpayer. Like, take the average debt, take an average individual. How does that, how does it work for that? How can you make sense of that for people so that they do understand how the national debt affects them as an average taxpayer, let's say?
yeah, I mean, like if the accounting, because it's all accounting, right? What's coming in and what's
Right.
coming out. So if you start reducing, like as a household, right? Your home is your own little government. Think it that way, right? It's your micro government. So if you are spending more than what you're earning, you're gonna go bankrupt. Right? And that's what we keep doing. Now, if you're at home and you want to start having a surplus on your capital, on your savings, what you need to do? Spend less. If you know what's coming in, spend less. It's just common sense, right? It's math, right? 2 minus 2 equals 0. That's how you net it out eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem we had in the past, I mean, we still have, but it's just getting there, I hope, is that we stop producing in America, right? And one way to generate more income is increase taxes or devalue the currency, correct? Well, we could not devalue the currency before because we don't produce anything.
True that.
A weak dollar is not healthy for us. Now, the dollar, you have seen the dollar has weakened right now, correct? It just didn't just because casualty. it's needed. It's as we bring manufacturers, we rebuild manufacturing, and we start producing, right? And we sell it, and the dollar is weak, then other countries are going to be able to buy
Mm-hmm.
at a good rate, per se. But if we produce and the dollar is so high, nobody can buy from us. So we isolate our economy, and that's
Mm.
bad for
Mm-hmm.
business.
Yep.
So now the devaluation of the dollar is being on purpose, it's intended, and it's good for us on the long run, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other question? I know you were talking about. I just got my squirrel moment.
Oh no, you answered the question perfectly. That was a great response. That was a great
Yeah, that was
answer.
great. That was good. That was
Yeah,
spot on. Spot
that
on.
was great.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was so. I know Randy has other questions.
I don't anymore because
Can
we
you
got.
believe that?
I know, right? No, no. I yes, and you actually answered all the questions I had actually, but we gotta get up out of here because I gotta hit the road. So please share any final thoughts you have, Andre. We'll start with you.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, um, I wanted to like answer something that you asked me before, Randy. You were asking about like people who like should pay less tax or declare less or more. Remember, I put
Hmm.
less dependents and stuff like that. Um, so lower tax rates, right? Is not equal to correct withholdings per se, right? So many people sometimes over withhold. So when you over withhold, you are giving the IRS an interest-free loan,
Mm,
right? And if you are under withhold, you create a surprise in it,
I see what you're saying. Yep.
and so that's the balance. Paying it too much, right? Because what happens is the government takes that money up front. They're working with that money. They're not charging. You're not charging them interest, isn't
Hmm.
it? So they work with your money through the year, and then you might get a refund,
You refund. Yep. Yep.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
you own how much that you're gonna pay, but your ability to work through the year with that money that you withhold. Somebody's working with it, right? The money's moving. Either you're
Hmm.
working with it, or the government is working with it.
Right.
So your ability to interpret that part is crucial.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Thank you for that,
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Tiff.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I just think that talking about taxes is a very um, hot topic, especially, when everyone gets their W-2s or their 1099s and getting direction on how to properly do this and navigate through the system because it can be very difficult. It can be very frustrating. And having some direction and guidance into making the most beneficial decision for you is crucial. So I thank you very, very much, Andreas, for coming on and being a part of that. On another note, it was just Super Bowl
Ah,
Sunday.
ah, 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 ah.
Yep.
Yes.
But I have to just say this. We are so excited in Las Vegas to get a new head coach for the Raiders.
I know
Awesome.
that's awesome, right? I got
My
it
Right?
pretty good though.
my Patriots got creamed, so I want to put the Super
Hey,
Bowl
I'm a
behind
Patriots fan too, so what I can tell you,
them.
that's why I was like,
Yeah.
Were you a Patriots? You're a Patriots fan too, Andreas?
I am.
Hmm.
See, and
But
okay.
the silver lining there is though they at least they made it to the Super Bowl. Because
No, that's
Correct.
last year's
no, and
record 4-13, you know, to turn around to be 17-3, I take it. I take it.
no,
So
no, no.
They're
And
doing something.
I was
Go
a
ahead.
I am a Patriot fan by just because I came from Boston, right? I have a nonprofit in Boston. I did want to root, and I did root for the Patriots, but at the end of the day, it panned out the way it panned out. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm favoring one team or the other. I am very much a Patriots fan, and I'm so sad that they didn't. But at the same time, here in Vegas, we now have a new head coach, and that for our team, and that's good.
yeah, Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good thing. We'll see. We'll see how that works. But
Yeah.
congratulations to all these months.
You're not confident, Andres.
I know that.
You don't seem confident.
Yeah, I know.
All right, y'all.
There was a lot of
Taylor up.
controversial stuff on Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
All right, y'all.
including the halftime. So I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
good stuff.
Thank you, and we'll probably I guess we'll be picking back up again here next week or so. And
Yes.
folks, y'all be safe, and thank you so much for being here today. All right, talk to y'all
Thank you
later.
guys for having me.
Absolutely, ladies and
Have a
gentlemen,
good
that was Andres Sanchez and Tiffani Jones joining us and covering taxes. So like I said, it's the tax season, and this is something that we need to get into a little bit. And like we just said, throwing the disclaimers out there. Get a tax professional to look at the eaches, the specific things that are going on with your individual situation to determine what is the best way to file your taxes. It's not as cut and dry as you may think. You may qualify for other things and whatnot. So you gotta, get that tax professional, lay it on the table and say, hey, what's my options? What are my options here? And go with that. We just giving you, broad general scenarios to think about, but get a professional and get your money back. So, all right, folks, I got to run. I got to get on the road here. Right now, I'm a little bit behind, but don't forget to go to the GiveSendGo.com Book Project 2025 and put Polarizing America. That's coming out April 14th. It's available for pre-order. Go ahead and drop that, get that, and yeah. All right, folks. I'll holler at you later. Ciao, ciao. I hope you enjoyed today's program. You can follow, like, share, subscribe on Spotify, Substack, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, and your news. And also, you can download Let the Truth Be Told app on your favorite streaming platforms, such as Fire Stick, Apple TV, and Roku. Take care. God bless.